Good afternoon. I call the Housing Authority meeting back to order. Roll call, please.
Authority members Devine.
Here.
Artenian.
Here.
Najarian.
Here.
Karazian.
Here.
Chair Sinanian. Vice Chair Kelly.
Here. What is next, please?
The agenda for the February 7, 2017 regular meeting of the Glendale Housing Authority was posted on Friday, February 3, 2017 on the bulletin board outside City Hall.
What is next, please?
Next is approval of minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move for it.
I'll second. What is next, please?
Actually, as Vice Chair, you cannot.
I'll second.
Thank you. Authority members Devine.
Yes.
Garpetian.
Yes.
Kelly.
Here. Yes.
Najarian.
Yes.
Karazian.
Yes.
Chair Sinanian. Minutes stand approved. Next, Chair Kelly, is the oral communications portion. No cards were submitted for this portion. That leads us into the business agenda. At 6A is Director of Community Development. Director of Community Development regarding proposed affordable senior housing project at Housing Authority owned land at 5th Street and Sonora Avenue. 6A1 is a resolution authorizing the Executive Director to execute a letter of loan commitment and lease option with Link Housing Corporation and National Community Renaissance of Glendale. Choose a motion approving submittal of project to the Tax Credit Allocation Committee.
Okay, open oral communications.
Before that, Chair, Vice Chair, why don't we have Principal Project Manager Mike Fortney come on up, and he'll give you a brief presentation on this next step.
Mike.
Good afternoon, Housing Authority Vice Chair Joseph Kelly, Housing Authority Board members. I'm Mike Fortney, Housing Project Manager for the city. The action before you is whether or not to approve a letter of loan commitment for the project at 5th Street and Sonora Avenue with Link Housing and National Core. And just to give you a brief overview, it was in August of 2015 that we issued a request for proposals for this site. The site we've owned for about 8 years, a little over 1.5 acres. 18 different developers responded to that RFP. It was pretty overwhelming. And finally, in August of 2016, last year, the Housing Authority Board selected Link Housing National Core as a team for that development of that site. We then entered into an exclusive negotiating agreement with them. Since that time, the project has refined some. It was 65 units. It is now 66 units. The scope has just really been more defined now, the landscape plan, things of that sort. The income targeting hasn't changed. It's still targeting 30 to 60% area median income. It's predominantly one bedroom with 6 two-bedrooms. It's 2 buildings, one facing 5th Street that's 2 stories and then increases to 3 towards the rear of the lot. And then there's a 3,500 square foot community center along 5th Street that is 2 stories in height, and it does have 5 or 6 of the residential units in there. To talk about the letter of loan itself, both the E&A and the letter of loan commitment would give Link and National Core 2 chances for tax credits, 9% tax credits. The next tax credit application is March 1st, and they need to show, they need the letter of loan commitment in order to show site control of the site. So approval of the letter of loan today would then allow them to apply for the March 1st tax credits. If they're awarded in March, we'll probably learn about it in May. If not, they'll be allowed to go again in July, and we'll probably find out in September if they get it. If the developer doesn't get the tax credits in either of those rounds, the Housing Authority has the option to continue with Link National Core or go with somebody else or rethink our whole position. I wanted to mention on the very rarely a staff report, there's a summary of terms of the letter of loan. It is, of course, design, finance, and construct 66 residential units, one of which would not be rent restricted, would be for the resident manager. I say here that the rental units will be, the affordability period will be for a period of 55 years. What I should have said will be no less than 55 years. I apologize to you for that. The required affordability, 7 units at 30% of area median income, 23 units at 45% area median income, 20 units at 50%, and only 15 units at the higher end, 60%. that 60% is the TCAC limit. I also said the term of the ground lease attached to the letter of loan is the lease option. A ground lease would come to you later when we bring the affordable housing agreement to you. But I say here that the lease option for 57 years, and again, I should have said no less than 57 years. We need the lease to run for the duration of the affordability covenants, which has to be a minimum of 55 years. And then we need that 2 additional years to get the construction financing and get the project actually built. So those are the changes that I needed to make to you verbally that from the staff report. There is one other change. The letter of loan commitment will expire December 1st, 2017. In the past few days, refining the letter of loan commitment, talking with the developer, and given the tax credit pricing and things that have happened there, the Tax Credit Allocation Committee has been giving applicants an additional 3 months for the March round and an additional 2 months in the July round in order to get all their funding in place due to the sudden drop in the tax credits. So what we agreed to do is make the deadline or make the lease option and the letter of loan commitment not to expire until May 1st of 2018. I say that, but it also will expire if they are unable to get tax credits in either the March or the July round. So if they are awarded in July of this year, they would have to May 1st of next year to secure all the financing and break ground. That's the only change. Other than that, we're only committed with Link and National Corps for 2 rounds. And we can, again, if they don't get that, we can still go with another. And that's pretty much the bulk of my presentation. I did want to say that there are representatives from both Link and National Corps, as well as RRM Design Group, if you have any questions for them. I'm here for questions, and of course, planning and urban design is here as well.
I have a quick question, Mike. I noticed in the staff report, land acquisition is listed at $6,600,000. Can you explain where the $600,000 came from?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Thank you for asking. We initially acquired the property back in 2008 for a purchase price of $6 million. But TCAC wants to know the value of the land as it is now. So we had Link go out and get it appraised. The appraised value came in at $6,600,000. We fully expected when we went out with the RFP that the value of the land would go up. In fact, we'd hoped it had gone up even more than it did. But that is it. It's the appraisal, the most current appraisal.
And the developer fee of $2 million, is that normal?
Yes, that's normal. And it was what was originally proposed. And that is consistent with projects that we've had in the past. We've had projects with lower, I think as low as 1.4 million. You look at how many units the project is. If it's a 30, 40 unit project, I wouldn't recommend anything over 1.4. Project of this size, I don't think 2 million is inappropriate. It's also the limit TCAC puts on it.
Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon. I came a little late today. I had another obligation. I want to thank Authority Member Kelly for running the meeting in my absence. Thank you very much. And I want to ask if any other authority members have any comments on this item.
No, I move 6A, 1 and 2. Do we have to move
Yeah,
both?
6A, 1 and 2.
6A, 1 and 2.
Second.
May we have a roll call, please?
Authority members Devine,
Yes.
Garpetian,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Najarian,
Yes.
Parazian,
Yes.
Chair Sinanian.
Yes. Next item is staff and member comments. Do we have comments from our authority? None? No comments from staff. Do we have new business? We do not. Next item is adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We're adjourned at 3:50 p.m.